Good afternoon. In today's assignment, we're still in Chapter 5. We'll finish it, and then we'll move on into Chapter 6. It's called Assembly Drawings. Now, when we were in here with just number 5, we did the parts. Now we're going to take them parts, and we're going to assemble them. When you get to this part of the screen, you're going to go to assembly. Now we've already been used to doing the parts and the drawings. Now we'll click on assembly, and so we've clicked on it, and it's loading. It'll take just a minute. Okay, and we're going to come up to a screen that we've not seen before, and I'm going to show you how to put the parts in there and then how to place them. So we'll come over here and we're going to place a part, and so we'll click, and it goes over to documents. Now we're going to have to go find our drawings, and so click in your folder, and notice I've got 16 through 21. Now the drawing that we're going to create is actually CAD 201-15, and it's going to create all these components in it. So I'll click 16, and then I'm going to hit open, and I'll just hit place, and then I'll hit escape because I only want one of them parts that's in there. Okay, so we've got a nice looking part. Now we're going to place another part, and it will be 17, and it's a little link, and if I'm not mistaken we just need one, and we will put it right there, and then we'll hit escape. Next we'll hit place, and we'll hit 18. It's a longer link, and we'll just place it right there and hit escape, and we'll hit place again. This will be 19. It's even longer if I'm not mistaken. It is. We're placing it there, and it'll help us here in a minute. We can either place them one at a time or several, and so this will be number 20. And let's see how many of these that we've got. And it looks like we need 2 of each, the best that I can tell. So we'll do that, and then we'll get the last ones. Scroll down, we'll get that, and then we'll put 2 of them in there. Then we'll hit escape. Okay, so we have all of our components. Now the thing is to assemble them, and they're going to work. Let's see here. It looks like this one here. So we're going to constrain the parts, okay? And so there's several types of constraints. There is assemblies, there's motions. Later on you'll make a train, and you'll have the opportunity to make all of the wheels on the train move same time, same amount of motion. Transitional pieces and constraint, but for the most part in this book we're going to stay here. Now here we would make 2 parts, and you can either mate them face to face, and this means having the faces facing each other or facing in the same direction. This is where we would put them at an angle, and of course we can tell what degree. Here is an offset, and the one we're going to start with is insert. So we're going to pick insert, And so I'm actually going to move back here, and I'm wondering, did I make a mistake on the thickness? I'm looking at 5, 5. Yeah, I think I did, but that's okay. We'll just use these others. Okay, so picking this one, I'm going to pick, say, this circle, and then I will pick this round part. Okay, and I'm going to apply that, and then I'll come back here, and notice that in that part, it didn't work well, so I'm going to cancel, and I'm actually going to undo, and there's a reason for that. So now let's go back to constraint. It's okay that we do that, and then we're going to pick this one here. Now notice it's got this one picked, but I really want this one, and so I will come over here and I'll pick that, and then I'll pick that small one, and I will apply it, and then I'll close that out, and I'm going to come back here. Now notice that it's got that part, so that's good. Now I'm going to take these larger ones, and I'm going to go ahead and delete them, and while I'm here I'm going to go ahead and place 2 more parts, these right here. Okay, we've got them. Now the next thing is I'm going to constrain again, and I'm going to come over here, pick the right side, and the more you do this, the more you will. Okay, I'm going to pick that circle there and that circle, and they're applied together. I'll hit OK, cancel. Probably don't have to necessarily cancel it, but I got those 2 parts there. Okay, now I'm going to take that one and just move it just like that. So they're there, they're assembled. Now the next part that I've got, I'm going to constrain. Okay, and a lot of times you may have to put as many as 3 constraints in it, but I'm going to go with this circle, and I'm going to go with, let's just say, this component right there, and I'm going to apply them. Okay, I'll go back. So I've got that part, it's there, and it will move. Okay, now that's not what I wanted to do. But this part is movable. Okay, just letting you know. Okay, now my next constraint is, again, I'm doing an insert. I'm going to pick that circle right there where it touches that part, and then I'm going to zoom over to the small one, and I'm going to click that right there, and I'm going to apply it. Okay, again, I'm going to 3D, so I'm doing pretty good on this part. Now I'm going to move to the back side here a little bit on this part, and I'm going to constrain again right here, and I'm going to pick this one. I'm going to pick this back side here, and I'm going to pick that part, and I'm going to apply that. Okay, now with the same thing picked, I'm going to pick this one and this one, and I'm going to apply that. Okay, So now come back to 3D. I'm doing pretty good. I'm actually going to take that part and move it right there. So we're in pretty good shape. We're still assembling the part. Now we're going to constrain here. I'm going to go to this part of the circle. Whoops, let me do this, and then we'll go to this part, and I can actually pick that from right there and cancel that. We don't want that. Now we are going to constrain here. We'll go here. I'm going to pick this circle and this one, and we've aligned them. Okay. Now we can move that. See? And so we can get to what we want. So the next one and the last constraint, and we'll go here. I think we're going to stick with this. We're going to pick this outer circle, and we want it to match up with that, and then we will apply it. We'll cancel that, and we'll go to 3D. Okay, so what do you think? Now probably let's take this, and we need to be able to move it. So how are we going to move it? We need to make these work. Now it is moving. Okay, that looks good. Looks good. And so there we go. Now, so we can see as we move this part, it will work. The whole thing about this was to show you how to do that. Now, here's what we would do. We would come up here to File, and we'll go to Save As. Now, let's make sure we go back to where we was at. Again, mine is under my name. And we'll go here. Now, notice it's called Assembly 1. So what we want to do is we want to CAD 201-15. And then we will save it as that. Okay. Now, that's an assembly. So next, we'll come up here just like we have been, and we're going to do a drawing. Okay, so it's loading. And sometimes when we do drawings, we do them with parts or components, but sometimes it's an assembly. So we'll do a base view. And notice here it comes. I'm going to make that 2-to-1 ratio. And because it's an assembly, because I'm not going to do any details, I think I'll make the colors on them, and I'll hit OK. Okay. So I come down to the red box. I'm going to sort of move it to the middle. Okay. Now that's a pretty good looking drawing. I could make it larger if I wanted to. So what all do we do? Well, we've gotten all this done. We could do section views, we could do auxiliaries, but we really don't want to do that. We want to come up here to annotate, and what we're going to do is I am looking over here. We've got balloons. We also have a parts list, okay? And so when we pick the parts list, we want to select the view, and we only got the one view, so we've got it there. And direction of the wrap. This all looks good. I'm going to hit OK and OK. BOM is Bill of Materials, sometimes materials list, and we'll click there. Now we're going to zoom in on it, and notice that it automatically listed 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. And there's 4 of 20 because we used 4 of them instead of 2 of the 21. So why did we do that? Because the very first component we didn't make it 10 millimeters thick, we made it 1. But this is okay. Now, so we've already got a materials list. We could come over here, we could right click in it, and we could edit the parts list, and then we could come up here and we could type in the very parts. And looking at them, this one is called a, make sure your caps lock is on, a plate web. Okay. The second one, who knows which one we did in what order? I think it is the center link or drive link. We'll see. Drive link. It may be the center link. And the other one, looking for a name, doesn't have anything. But the last one is a peg. And let's call this other one center link, drive link, driven link. Okay. And we'll click there, and then we'll hit OK. All right. And we can take this and we can enlarge it. That don't look too good, so we'll go back. And so we have that. Looks good. So what did we do that for? Well, we need to identify the components. So what we would do is we'd come over here to balloon. Now you can pick them, and for the first time, let's do this one-on-one. So we would come over here and we would pick this part. We would come over here. You never go straight up or straight out. Always go at an angle. You would pick here, then give it a little shoulder to rest on. Pick there, right click, and continue. And notice that that is part number 1. Okay. Now we'll go and we're going to do another balloon, and we'll do this one. We'll come up here at an angle. There, we'll right click and continue. That's part number 2. Continue. That's part 3. Part 4. And then here we go. Part number 5. Okay, so it's got them all. Now you could have auto done them, but that does them there. So now we'll come over here and we're going to click save. And it takes us into the folder. It's got that number. So we'll hit OK. And it pops the number in there. And now we'll do text. So make sure you come up to the upper left corner. And we will go Southeast Kentucky, enter, community, ampersand, or and, technical, college. And then of course we're going to middle center those, so middle and center, and hit OK. All right, looks good. Now we'll do the same thing for the title. Now, looking at this, it's called a rocker assembly. Rocker assembly. We're going to highlight that. We will middle center those, and then we'll change it to 0.24, like that. Over here, second one up from the bottom. Now, that is not a bad looking drawing. It looks good. So, save it. Okay. We have done well. Okay. Now, we're going to go back to the assembly. Okay. Now, for this assembly, let's call this one we're going to go save as, and we're going to call this one 22. This will be number 22. We're going to hit save. Now, why did we do this? Well, I want to show you, this is an assembly. We look straight at it, but when we come up here to this little sheet, we're going to go down to presentation. Okay? And we're going to pick up 22. Now, mind you, 22 and 15 are the same at this point. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to offset it, and we're going to tweak some components here. So we'll go to tweak, and there are several things that we can do at tweak. And so on this part right here, we will click on that, and notice that there are 3 axes. Okay, now we want to move this one in, well, let's hit escape. Let's go back to tweak again, and so we're clicking on this part. Okay, and normally it has XYZ, but it has made a difference. Notice you can move it, you can rotate it. So we're going to move the part, and so we are going to let's click here. Yeah, part. No. Okay. Again, go back to tweak, and we are going to select this part. We are going to move it. Try single, see if that'll work. Okay, now I'm looking at the Z, and I'm thinking here on the Z, I want to move it out, say, first of all, let's go 200 millimeters. Oh, wait, no, we're in inches, so let's go 4. Okay, and then we'll hit OK. So we've moved this part out 4 inches. Okay. Now I'm going to tweak this component, and so I'm going to move it. I'm going to move it 4 inches back the other way, and so I am going with single. Move part. Okay. Yeah, I don't want that. Okay, it's not giving me those numbers, but let's go back this way, and I'm gonna go -4. What I did, I grabbed that arrow and moved it back there. Then I hit the green arrow. Okay, so we have moved that part. So we're gonna do an explosion here. Okay. Next, I'm going to tweak a component, and I'm going to take this part right here, and I'm going to move it, part, local, locate, single, everything looks good there. I'm now going to take that and move it back -2 and enter. So I'm separating the components, and so next I'm going to tweak the component. I'm going to grab this one and I'm going to move this one 2 inches over. Okay, so I'm spacing everything 2 inches. Okay, now the next thing is I'm going to move this component here. I'm going to move it 4 inches. Okay, so I've moved it over. Okay, and next I'm going to tweak this component. I'm going to move it that way, -2. Okay, and then I'm going to tweak this component. I'll move it 2. Okay, so that leaves us with this component. We really haven't done anything with it, so let's just figure out what are we going to do. Let's pick it, okay, and then we're going to sort of, let's just rotate it just to show you that, hey, it will rotate. And let's do this one, and let's do 360 degrees. Okay, all right. Now, so we've exploded this. Now, here's what we're going to do. This is our storyboard. We've, this is how many frames that we got. We are going to capture camera. I think we'll try it. And then we will, let's play it. Okay. So we'll come over here. And you can see that we've created a presentation. Now, isn't that neat? It's really pretty neat. So, so that's a presentation. We'll make sure that we do that. Now we can grab this, and you notice it moves. Okay, it's right there, and so that looked pretty good. Now you can actually come up here at, let's make sure that we save that, right? And there, that looks good. Okay, now this is called an exploded assembly. So we would come up here, and now we'll do a drawing, and then we're going to put that in there. Okay, this looks really good. Let's see if 2 to 1, yeah, 2 to 1 is looking good here. Turn the shade on, okay. And then with that red line, just bring it in here, and yeah, set that up. Looks good. Now, let's go to annotate. We're going to do the parts list, if you remember. Select the view. Yeah, that's it. And hit OK. And then we've done that. You can edit that. And then come back up here to balloons. And we can auto balloon it. And so select the view set. Well, placement is horizontal. Let's pick around. And balloon shape, well, you can pick any type of balloon shape that you want. We'll pick the second one, and then we'll hit OK. Guess we're going to do that. We'll pick that, 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 and that. Maybe another one will work. Okay, you can see where they're working there. We'll click. All right, then we'll hit apply. And it's really strange. It took me a few times, but it's went ahead and identified them. So here's what we'll do. We'll come and we will save that. And this one's 22. That's good. And it's going to save it. Again, put southeast there, and then you're going to put rocker assembly. It's going to be an exploded assembly. Okay.